Welcome to Comprehensive Empowerment. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on the invisible forces that dictate our daily lives. Whether you're arguing over a spiked internet bill, trying to get a word in during a hijacked meeting, or navigating a tense standoff with your teenager, you are negotiating. It is a constant, unavoidable survival skill. We like to believe these interactions are strictly logical. We assume that if we simply bring the right facts and a level head to the table, we will naturally reach a fair agreement. But underneath those logical debates is a chaotic sea of psychological triggers. We are driven by the need to protect our status, the fear of losing face, and deeply ingrained cognitive biases that bypass our reasoning entirely. When we fail to recognize these hidden currents, we get trapped in a frustrating cycle. We either cave to pressure just to keep the peace, or we explode in a burst of unproductive anger. That feeling of powerlessness doesn't come from a lack of intelligence. It comes from being completely blind to the psychological chess game happening in almost every conversation. When conflict strikes, our biology actively works against us. Under stress, the brain's survival centers hijack the analytical prefrontal cortex. We simplify complex problems, we anticipate threats, and we stop listening. This mental narrowing forces us into predictable errors. We make panic concessions to escape the tension, launch empty threats we can't back up, or completely misread what the other person actually wants. Escaping this trap requires lucidity. This is the rare ability to observe both your internal stress and the external pressures without letting them dictate your next move. Without a structured method to counteract that biological stress response, we are wired to repeat the same frustrated reactions in every high-stakes interaction. In his book, Live and Let Live, Michel Rosenberg provides a lighthouse for navigating these complex human knots. He outlines the PCCC process: preparation, consultation, confrontation, conclusion. Preparation defines your messer, or best alternative. Consultation and confrontation shift to managing proposals and concessions. Finally, the conclusion phase locks in the result, securing formal commitments to prevent sudden backsliding. Relying on this four-step mental map prevents your brain from reverting to survival-based reflexes when the stakes get uncomfortably high. But having a map isn't enough if you misread the terrain. Rosenberg uses the force model to diagnose real power. Influence rarely comes from a job title. It stems from the control of critical information, the quality of your alternatives, and who has the endurance to wait out the clock. Once you understand the balance of power, you can spot the traps. The book identifies 30 specific manipulative tactics, from false urgency to emotional blackmail, designed to push you into irrational decisions. Take the ultimatum. When you recognize it not as an immovable factual boundary, but as a deliberate psychological tactic to induce panic, you instantly buy yourself the time to pause, analyze, and regain control. To maintain that control, you apply rules like the strategy for concessions. They must be planned well in advance, they should get progressively smaller to signal your limits, and you must always demand a reciprocal effort in return. Making these invisible games visible is the only reliable way to stop playing them. It transforms you from a stressed victim of circumstance into a lucid, deliberate strategist. Negotiation is a continuous system, not an isolated battle. Extracting a massive concession today through intimidation practically guarantees a total loss of trust and cooperation tomorrow. This is the essence of the live and let live balance. It is the hard-won ability to stand incredibly firm on your own interests while remaining respectful of the other person's core needs. The ultimate objective is not to become an aggressive victor who crushes everyone in their path. It is to become a lucid actor, someone who moves calmly through a world of power games without being corrupted by them. Don't crush, and don't be crushed. Understand the invisible mechanisms at play, and move forward with purpose. Michel Rosenberg's insights offer a precise guide to reaching this new level of interpersonal intelligence, igniting impact, empowering everyone.